All right, hello guys. Mm, should I say good evening? It's almost good night. I'm supposed to be asleep right now, so quite late today. It's 9:28 p.m. Saturday, the 6th of January 2024. Here we are back again, and yeah, all right. Let's start first. Weight. 69.3. Right, so 69.3 without the clothes, probably 69, 68, somewhere 68.9. And yeah, just had a meal as well. Usually don't have dinner, but today I kind of did. Evening though, not exactly dinner, I guess, around 5 p.m. Anyways, because of that, I'm doing better today, feeling a bit better than yesterday. Yesterday my cold was pretty serious. Today I'm feeling a lot better, but just when my cold was getting better, now just on the evening I had a meal, and then the meal the I had some bison meat, and that meat was fried real spicy, and I I thought I would be able to handle it, but I shouldn't have eaten it. I regret eating that thing. Yeah, now because of that my stomach is having issues again, and hopefully this doesn't go into that full-blown gastric issue I had a few months back. Yeah, that gastric issue traumatized the hell out of me. So I'm someone who never had stomach issues my whole life. Obviously normal, like everyone else, once in a while you'll have the diarrhea, loose motion, constipation, all that stuff. But never had stomach ache, pain, any issues like that. But recently, just this year, when was it? No, not by this year, I mean 2023, somewhere mid 2023, somewhere like that, I had a serious gastric issue, which was very weird as well, because that evening I didn't have anything new. I just had a new protein powder. My mom got a new protein powder and I wanted to try it. I usually have Optimum Nutrition, ON's, theirs protein powder. They're very well known protein powder, so I go with them. But that evening I just tried a new one my mom got from her yoga class, and I just tried it with coffee and biscuit, which is something I once in a while I'll do. I don't do it often because it's snack and stuff, but it was some oatmeal biscuits, some coffee, and then that protein powder and some creatine. So I just got it into a mixer. I usually have that. It's nothing new for me, but that protein powder was new for me that evening. And maybe because of that, I had a very serious gastric issue. I guess I should call it gastric or acidity, one of those. So basically bloating stomach, with serious gas, so some like that. And it was the kind of gas where you're not just you can't even take it out. I went to the bathroom a lot of times, but nothing was, nothing was coming out. And then I could, if it was full of gas, I wasn't farting or something either. So it was just, I felt completely bloated, and there was a serious throbbing pain all around my stomach, from my end of this right below the chest, this, what do you even call this, sternum, this area. So right around here, from here all the way to right above my groin, right? So this whole stomach area, the whole abs, basically the whole abs section was hurting like hell, and it was like, it felt very bloaty, and there was like a throbbing pain that was all over. It was spread out. It wasn't like a concentrated pain, but it was spread out throbbing pain, and it was terrible, man. It was like traumatizing. It was probably the worst stomach ache I ever had, and it continued for, like, I started having that around evening, around 8 p.m, something like that, and that pain lasted till like next day, 11 a.m. somewhere. So it was like complete 14 hours of like crazy amount of pain. It was so intense, I could barely sit still, and I was like just moaning, like groaning in pain, literally exactly that. And it was like, yeah, freaking terrible, man. It was like the worst thing that I had ever experienced, and I never had issues related to stomach, so like it was truly like a humbling experience, because like I have seen people go through stomach aches and stuff, but I've never like really empathized with that. And but after experiencing that, I'm like, yeah, man. Like there are serious issues, there are lots of people, different crazy sickness. I mean, I have this vision issue which I had dealt with for my whole life. I'm 31, almost 31 this year, and I've dealt with this vision issue my whole life. It is a kind of a serious issue, like a low light vision issue thing. But that stomach ache was absolutely terrible, and like that made me realize, that kind of like made me like, got me to really like, how should I put it? It basically taught me that, do not assume or do not underestimate what people are going through, what someone else might be going through, right? Like, of course, you probably have it worse, right? You probably have some things that you had to deal with your whole life and stuff, and yeah, it made you stronger and all that. But despite that, you shouldn't look down on people, or you shouldn't underestimate what someone else might be going through, right? Because it could be pretty terrible as well in a different way, right? So yeah, that stomach ache was absolutely terrible. I don't even know what was the issue for it. Like I haven't figured it out even now, because like I went to the doctor, we got the ultrasound for if there was appendicitis or some crazy other issue, and did multiple tests. And what was that test where they put like a they put a camera inside your throat? So that test was pretty horrible too. Like it was like just swallowing something like it. Yeah, that was another terrible experience. I never want to go, because I felt like I was choking on my own throat when they put that camera in, like that, right? So it was like absolutely terrible. It just brought back all my memories of the 2 times I almost drowned. So it wasn't deep water, it was a bit, but it was deeper than me, so a bit, so the water depth was slightly more than me, and I just like, yeah, I almost drowned, but my friend pushed me to the side of the swimming pool. So yeah, it reminded me back of and like that pool incident wasn't anything serious. My friends were around and stuff. I just walked to the deep end. So, but yeah, that test was pretty terrible. They put that pipe in, one long pipe, and then after that they put a camera through that pipe right inside, and it was like I couldn't completely contract, like swallow, that swallowing motion where it pushes something down. So my body's reaction was to try and push that thing down, that pipe or whatever was like going through the whole throat. But obviously I knew it was a pipe, and then I felt like if I try to swallow it down, my throat muscles will break or some crazy stuff. That's the kind of feeling I was getting, and like while my body was giving me, like forcing me to try to swallow it down, that reflex was getting me, but like my mind was like, no, you can do it, because if you do try to swallow it down, it's a hard solid substance and you might just, your throat muscles might break. For some reason I had that feeling like if I try to swallow this, do that swallowing motion with this thing in my throat, I'll probably like, crush my throat muscle or something like that. So yeah, that was a terrible experience as well. I coughed a lot. I was like, like saliva, everything was coming out and I'm like choking on my own throat. So yeah, that test was pretty terrible too. So like that half a day, that 12 hours, the pain from the whole night, I went through the issue. Fortunately, like I'm living with my parents, so like my parents, my dad took me to the ER, to the emergency at night, took some shots, like painkiller shots and stuff, like, but it didn't work. And then we had to go again. Went to hospital around 1 a.m. sometime like that, because throughout the night my pain was like around 8, and then I suffered through the pain till 1. Like I endured through it basically. I thought, because I never had anything like that, I figured it will probably go down later. So I'm like, I didn't like, I felt like I didn't have to go to the medical and stuff, and I can just bear through it. And so I just sat here and drank some water, ate some bananas and shit, like thinking it would make it better, but I actually did the wrong shit. I shouldn't have eaten anything. I actually tried to like make the pain go away by eating something and stuff. So I did eat a few things. I forgot right now exactly what I ate, but like I ate a few things, which was probably the wrong thing to do. And I drank too much water as well, trying to, I felt like since it's acidity or gas, if I drink more water, it will neutralize whatever it is causing it. That was kind of my ignorant logic. So like, yeah, so that, and then around 1 a.m. we went to the medical and then took some painkiller shots and stuff, because just the pain was terrible. Like, but it didn't work. 2 hours later, around 4 a.m. we went back again and took took a few more shots and like got saline and stuff. And that's when like I was like, I actually, the pain reduced enough for me to like sleep for a bit, so that like for like around 3 hours I slept, like because the whole night I couldn't sleep at all because of the pain. I was just walking around in my room and stuff and I could barely sleep. So that's when I slept. And after that, after I slept for a bit, around 8 a.m. went for the checkup, went for the like ultrasound and all those stuff, and like got more medicines and stuff, like medicines to to like, well, what do you even call that, to get me to shit basically. So like whatever was inside, and that camera, that test as well, that showed me that my stomach was pretty much empty, just some undigested food from the last night and shit I ate, try thinking it would make the stomach feel better and stuff. And yeah, my stomach was pretty empty, so it was basically gas. There was no other issue, there was no tumor or something, some crazy stuff, nothing. And the doctor just told me, if it gets any worse, then come back, we'll do more further tests, but if it gets better, then it's probably like just acidity stuff. So yeah, so I did get better after like some medicines. I think some like those, like took a few medicines, honestly a lot, like some syrups and stuff. And after I came back home, took the medicines, and then I felt like sleeping again, so I slept for a bit. And around evening, like around 2 to 3 p.m, it was gone, right? The whole issue was like, but that, yeah, but like that was like traumatic as hell. Those 12 hours I probably will never forget my whole life, because it was absolutely terrible. Worst pain I probably ever felt and for such an extended period of time, where I couldn't even like I couldn't sleep at all. Also, it happened in the night time, so it was much more terrible because, like, I'm someone who's used to sleeping regularly and properly nowadays, and that was like, yeah, it was. So like me not sleeping probably added to the issue as well. And yeah, after that, actually, like I had that issue, nothing was found, and it was basically we basically concluded it was just some like freak accident, like acidity or something like that. And then after that, after actually a few months down the line, I had a very similar issue when I did the run blog, my first run blog in Pasigat there. When I went there, we traveled back home to my like uh, to my ancestral place, to my countryside, basically to my permanent home. So there, when we went back there, we traveled the night and then we reached there at night, and then early morning, because usually my usual meal schedule early morning is basically like wake up early morning around 3:30 4 a.m. and then like when it comes to meals or putting something in my stomach, usually I just get a glass of water, just normal water, glass of water, and 250 ml water glass, and then another 250 ml of electrolyte, right? So no sugar, electrolyte. I get those keto-fi, that one. I made a video about it. So I just like one normal glass of water, one electrolyte drink. That's it. I don't do anything else. And then I go for a run for an hour, run for 2 hours, half marathon sometimes, and then come back and then get another glass of electrolyte, drink some glass of water, and then have my meal, which is usually like first meal in the morning is usually there will be at least 5 eggs, and then something more like coffee, a glass of coffee milk, and some almonds, nuts, then rice and veggies and stuff. So that's how my usual meal is, like starting the day. But that day I had like what was this? Yeah, I woke up early morning, and for whatever reason, because like it's basically it's obviously not home, so I'm traveling in the middle of a travel, so like our food options were different. Obviously, I could not have the same meal I'd have when I'm at home. So like I had like early morning, I got up and I had coffee. I think, yeah, I had like I think I had an egg, a glass. I actually had coffee early morning. After I woke up, I had coffee, and for some reason I feel like the coffee was the issue, because now my stomach is so used to having a certain kind of a meal, like basically a glass of water or an electrolyte drink early morning, just that, nothing else. I feel like my body's already stomach is used to it, so like when I changed it and had like something like coffee first thing in the morning, it fucked up my stomach, because that day when I had that coffee, I didn't even finish the glass. It was just half the glass. I finished it, and that same pain I felt back then, like that crazy pain, uh, it it started, like that same kind of pain started again. It wasn't as intense, but that same kind of pain, and it was starting to bother me, and I got like legit scared. I'm like, shit, in the middle of travel, is this gonna happen again, right? And but like this time I figured, because I learned my lesson last time by trying to, shop something, a lot of food down, thinking it would, get me better. This time what I did was like I just sipped on a bit of water, and then just, try to relax myself. Like I just laid down on my back and just relaxed myself, or walked around the room a bit, and then like every 10 to 15 minutes I'll sip a bit of water, like a mouthful of water, every 10 to 15 minutes, and walk around or lay down depending on the pain I'm feeling. And amazingly enough, within like 2 hours, in 1.5 hours, something like that, that pain actually went away completely, right? And yeah, that was like my first experience of that crazy pain after like that once it happened, like intense 12-hour lasting one. And after that, that was the first experience, like almost 4 to 5 months after that incident, right? So yeah, so that was like pretty terrible. That was a terrible experience, and like that one experience after that actually helped me kind of overcome my fear of the stomach ache for the better. But ever since that pain incident though, like I'm now a bit, like I'm a bit much more careful with what I eat and junk food and stuff. I have one more reason to avoid junk food or suddenly like messing up my food routine, right? My diet routine and stuff. I don't want to risk adding something new, especially spicy stuff or things I know are a bit junky, something that I'm not used to, and I have like, new dishes and stuff that are a bit spicy, saucy and stuff like that. Like I'm a bit hesitant nowadays to add stuff like that, especially early in the morning. I feel like early morning I'm quite sensitive. Early morning and before I go to bed, like after 5 p.m. and early morning before 8 a.m. So for some reason, I'm a bit more careful now with the beginning and end of my day with having stuff. So like the whole reason I even started on this was just a while back, I had that very spicy, like that meat dish, and now my stomach is a bit, it's having like a bit of, it's not that kind of pain, but it's like a slight numbing pain in the top of my stomach. Like but I can feel the bubbles, like, so I can literally feel some bubbles popping. So this is definitely like, yeah, probably like diarrhea or something like that. I don't know. So I just drank some water, a bit of electrolyte, and hopefully this gets better. It's not pain, but it is slightly bothering me, and because of my that bad experience last year, yeah, every time I get a bit of stomachache nowadays, I get a bit scared. So that is that. Anyways, so the videos already become long again. But yeah, that was just my experience. So if you guys go through something similar, like that bloaty feeling with a bit of a pain all over your stomach, or especially the upper part of your stomach, if you have that feeling, maybe try that. Like sip on just water. Don't take anything else. Sip on a bit of water and rest. If lying down makes you feel better, lie down. Or if walking around a bit makes you feel better, walk around and sip a bit of water every 10 to 15 minutes and see if it goes away in an hour or so. So that's kind of my remedy. Also, for anyone who's watching this and who knows and who actually got a proper diagnosis or who solved their issue of this, with proper diagnosis and stuff, let me know. Like, who knows, your advice, if you have gone through something similar and you actually got a proper diagnosis of it, and you figured out what exactly caused it, it might be helpful to me as well. So yeah, that's basically it. Today was just me sharing my experience of like going through a serious bloaty stomach ache. So that will probably be my title today. Anyways, that's it for today. I'm missing I wanted to do a Japanese lesson today because I have missed a lot this week, but yeah, as you can see, I'm late, so alright, I'll probably try to do it tomorrow. Anyways, good night. Catch you guys tomorrow.